Hey everyone, it's Ruth Sherman, CEO and celebrity speech and media coach. But you don't have to be famous to work with me. For this e-zine, I was going to focus on my final installment for my TED Talk, which I did on the 29th of February. But with the whole virus debacle and meetings being canceled left and right, I've decided that it's more important and more urgent for me to tell you a bit about how you can be good on video, because video conferencing is now taking the place of in-person meetings, and we are so fortunate to have that app, that access to that technology. So I have trademarked the term video charisma, registered trademark, about 5 years ago. So I know something about this. It's something that I've developed programs on and so forth. So let me give you a few ideas about how you can become better on camera and perhaps even make it more efficient, a more efficient use of your time. And by the way, these skills, although they are critical to have right now, they are something that you can use going forward in every way. Okay, the first thing that I want to tell you is that you see the way I'm looking directly into the camera, like I am sitting up straight. The camera seems to be focused straight onto me so that my eyes and the upper part of my head are basically in what we call the upper third. So if you mentally divide, horizontally divide the screen that you're looking at into 3 parts, the upper third is approximately where your eyes should be. So we want to be careful that your screen, and I see this all the time, which is why I mention it, that your screen is not pushed back like this, so that you're down here, or it's not cutting your head off like that. Okay, so that's one thing, to look straight on, to position your screen, your webcam, so you are looking straight on into the picture. Okay, and that is the standard, and that's why those other 2 things that I just demonstrated, those other 2 positions, look so weird. All right, number 2, you have to look into the place your audience is, and that's the camera lens. I call it the little green cyclops because it's just this little green dot of light that I know is where my webcam is. So when that's flashing, or if that's on, and I don't know what color it is on your webcam, but whatever color it is, that's where you need to be looking at. So a lot of people have trouble with that because, of course, cameras are inanimate. They don't react. They don't give you any feedback. You've got to figure out a way to make it as if a loved one or a good friend or someone you really like is on the other side of that. And you've really got to stare into that. So you can't be looking, down here. You certainly shouldn't be looking at your face, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm looking at my picture on the camera that's on my webcam that it's reflecting back to me. I am now looking into the camera lens. You see the difference? I'm making a connection with you on the other side of that lens. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is that you are going to hate the way you look on video. Everyone hates the way they look on video, even my Oscar-winning clients. Here's why. When we look at ourselves on video, we are seeing, instead of a mirror image, which we're very accustomed to, we're seeing ourselves as other people see us. So you can get dressed in the morning, get ready to go out to an important meeting, you look into a mirror and you think, oh my gosh, I look good. And then that same exact look with a camera on you, and you look at that video and you think, my God, who is that? So everything is exaggerated. Your hair is parted on the wrong side. If you've got any moles like I do, it's on the opposite side. Maybe your smile is crooked like mine is, like most people's are. Our faces are not symmetrical, even though we think they are. So here's the trick. You get used to the way you look. You won't always feel like, oh, I look horrible and I can't possibly do video. You get used to it. Your brain begins to learn about it and it factors it in. It's very similar to how you get used to listening to yourself. You're listening to your voice messages on voicemail, for example. So I know you probably hate the sound of your voice too. We can work on that separately, but this is 100 times more painful. Okay, second is to keep your videos short. So don't be talking for a long time. Like I'm talking for a long time. This is going to be a few minute video. That's a long time. So state what you state and then stop. Let other people talk. And you'll notice if you're doing a video conference with a lot of different people on it, you'll notice how people are not doing it this way. They don't look engaged. And so you really have to try to look engaged. Another thing to keep in mind is your background. You want to make sure that your background is neutral or just has some wallpaperish kind of things in it. My background, as you can see, it's just got some art. It's a shelf. There are two shelves. It's fairly neutral in terms of color. So yeah, you might be a little bit distracted. I've got my book over there, so a little advertising, and that's just fine. But you want to make sure your background is bland enough so that you're looking into the screen. People aren't going to be distracted by it, but interesting enough so that you look somewhat professional. Lighting. Lighting is huge. This is the last tip that I'm going to give you. You have to be well lit. There really should be that sparkle in your eyes. So there should be some light reflected in your eyes. Now I'm in a very bright room. It's lit with daylight, but I also have artificial lights that I can position right in front of me so that those lights would be on me if it were dark in a particular room. My suggestion for most people is if you are in a room with a window, that you position it so the window is over there behind the laptop, so it actually shedding light on you. You don't want to sit with your back. You don't want the window over there because then you would be what's called silhouetted. You would come out and look dark. And that's because webcams are automatic focus and they change their light automatically. It's really difficult to get it to work properly. So lighting is huge. It's very important. Sparkle in the eyes, a little bit of a reflection, and make sure that if you don't have that, if it's dark in the room, that you can have some lights on you. By the way, you don't have to get fancy theatrical lights, even though they're really inexpensive and you might want to have some on hand. And they're small too. They're small enough where you can put them away in a closet. But you can use regular incandescent lights or any kind of lamp that you have. Just remove the shade so that the bulb sheds light on you. But make sure it's from both sides so that you get some good light on your face, again, along with that sparkle in the eyes. Okay, that's all I have for you today. If you want to learn more about video presentation, video charisma, please contact me. Go over to ruthsherman.com and sign up, and there'll be a whole lot of information and blogs about how to present on camera, because not only will you be able to use this now during this ridiculous and awful situation with coronavirus, but going forward, it's going to be a huge time saver for you. Imagine not having to get on so many airplanes. Okay, thanks very much. Talk to you soon. Bye. Good luck.